Deep inside of evil's core, outside of Snake Mountain, there lives evil unlike any human has ever conceived of before. Slimy evil, powerful sorcery, and evil rulers that go beyond the comprehension of man, but even beyond the comprehension of beasts. Skeletor's very own cat, and Steed, a cat, a panther, a Panthor, a Mattel creation. New Eternia Panthor is who we'll be reviewing today.
Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe creature. That's right, we have a Mattel creation exclusive that I'm very excited about. Finally got him in the mail today. It is Panthor. Just look at this big box. Oh man, he is so neat looking here on this package art. If he's half the cat that this package art shows, he's going to be dynamite. And going by a lot of the pictures I've already seen on Instagram, he's looking phenomenal, and there's some surprises that come along with this guy. So I'm really excited. It says Masterverse over there on the side. It's got some real cool artwork on the bottom. Just take a look at that. Wow. It's one of the Skeletons on the on a dragon in the moonlight there, just looking amazing. And then you have a picture of some dragonflies, and in the distance it looks like in through the woods, maybe atop a waterfall with the moon in the background, a little glimpse of Mechanic. He's approaching to battle Skeletor, and that's right, Panthor. And there he is. Look at that. That's such an epic shot. I love that. Love the way that looks. Skeletor saying, "Get him, Panthor!" And Mechanic is right there getting ready to try to handle him. But boy, he's got a lot to handle there. Man, just he's so ferocious looking with that helmet on. A little different than what we're used to from the Classics helmet. As we know, New Eternia always gives us their flair on any of their characters. You can see there what it says. Original designs inspired by classic concepts. And that's what we get from the Masters of the Universe New Eternia line, and they are so cool. I've not been disappointed by very many when I have reviewed them, as you know, and we can see this is a Mattel creation exclusive. So without further ado, let's go ahead over here in Snake Mountain and check out Panthor. And here we are over here at Snake Mountain. And before we really reveal everything, we definitely want to look at this box opening, because it's such a beautiful box. And fortunately, there's no tape. There's nothing hindering. So you just lift this lid. And when you open it up, the first thing you see is on the inside of the lid, you have a black and white image of Panthor in all of his glory, fully equipped with all of his armor. And also, let's take a look at the bio that's right here, if you'd like to pause and read that now. Panthor, the Savage Cat. And then, look, another artwork of Skeletor actually riding him. Just look at that, how beautiful that is. Man, so gorgeous. You can even see some epitaph of Snake Mountain type, I don't know, thing coming through the woods over here on this side. Interesting artwork, really neat. Wow, just amazed at how cool this looks. And then all you have to do is lift this up. Oh wow, it's like a full pull out, like a full thing. That is just so neat. Let's see if there's anything on the other side. Oh yeah, check this out. You even get a full display, kind of like a diorama background for your Panthor. That's a long, nice cutout. It's not quite, maybe not quite tall enough, but that is so neat. You could use that with our figures at least, and it does look like Eternia. So that is neat. I like that. Cool, that's a nice bonus, and we'll get a better shot of that in a few minutes when we get the photos. But without further ado, oh wow, just look at that. When you peep on the inside, there he is, and it's got that real shiny metallic look to him, which is really neat. I've been noticing that in pictures. Wow, that is just something else. So you see back here, there's a spear connected back here. There's the helmet. He's got his little feet gauntlet things on there, ankles, and it's all bundled in, rather tied in with those kind of cardboard type twines, paper type twines. So without further ado, let us go ahead and break him out of his paper prison here and check out our Panthor over here in Snake Mountain. Shakoti, Spikor, and Skeletor are very excited to check out and meet for the first time Panthor, and him being able to come into this environment right here in Snake Mountain. He is looking awesome. You see he's got those bracers around his ankles, his front paw area. He comes with a spear, which is very interesting. Even a place to store the spear, which we'll look at that in a moment. And it even comes as another accessory, a foot harness, or foot where you rest your foot when you mount the great cat here, huge Panthor. You see this one's already equipped there. And then we also get this awesome looking helmet. Wow, just look at that. So cool. So neat looking. And one of the things that I think is really cool, as we take a look at him, it's hard to tell in the camera and even in photos, and I saw one person actually mention it in their photos, but those eyes have a plastic coating over them, similar to our new Eternia Merman. If you remember that review, you can go check out my review on him. But yeah, and that is really cool. That's a nice touch. Really brings those eyes to life and gives them a depth and a shine, instead of them just being painted on, or even them just being like, I don't know, a sticker or something. They have just more of a realism to them. And hopefully you can see in this lighting how the light, the white light and even the red light, is bouncing off this metallic type shine. It's not like a super metallic, but it's kind of like, if you will, the little bit of a metallic type shine that we had on our new Eternia Skeletor that came with the throne. He had a little bit of a hint of a purple type metallic shine on him, but boy, he's looking cool. And just take a look at this awesome saddle. It's like the spine work back here. See if I can rotate it without him falling over, because it's a little uneven, my turntable here. See the spine there? And just the texturing Look at that. Almost like a turtle shell, or maybe even an alligator shell. And there's the hole. So let's go ahead and grab that piece, and we'll go ahead and mount that on. We're going to do it in real time here. There it is. That may have to, I think as big as that peg is, that's going to require some heat. That's not just going to plug in. I'm going to have to heat that up and plug it in. So let me do that right quick. And voila, camera magic. And yeah, that is so nice. And you can see it even has design on there. Almost looks like a beak of some sort coming off of there. There's even design work here in this strap that pretends to go all the way around, but we see it's kind of glued on. It's not for real because that pegged in. Look at that skeleton type face here coming off this little loop, and this loop, and this loop. Let's see what's on that loop. Little skull looking thing on that loop too is where you can place the spear. So let's go ahead and get that. And we can just go ahead, work that in there, because it's got it's gonna want to turn on me. There we go. Move this out of the way because we don't want it to go through there. That's where Skeletor's foot will go. And let's see how it wants to go, like that, I think. And there you go. You've got your spear equipped. But what we were saying is just take a look at that texturing here. Just really stellar. Look, it's got skull type patterns all throughout. Look at here, another skull type pattern. Then you've got the horns that we're used to, but just look at the metallic shine on that saddle. Looks so neat. The scarring, the battle scarring, the fur texture throughout his whole body here. So neat. And again, you see these little bracers down here and the little horns on them. That's so cool. Even pads on the paws, the bottom of the paws. But maybe those paws pop out so that you can take those bracers off, because I have seen people remove them. So we'll check that out. Of course, there's your... So we were talking about these gauntlets around his ankles that we weren't sure if they would come off or not, and they do. I was missing that break, but there it is right there. They really do good to flush back together, which is good. It's almost seamless so that you can't see it, but that's not a bad thing. But they will come apart, so you don't have to pull these feet off, okay? So just wanted to clarify that. Straps, where you can strap on his saddle, so that's removable. We know that. Of course, I don't really want to remove it. Look, this design here even matches Skeletor's loincloth, what we normally see on him. That's neat, and it's textured. And then look at that silver screech type bat slash bird, whatever kind of design there. That's neat. We saw that highlighted on the artwork. Another look at those eyes and focus here. They're just so cool. They really went the extra mile for this guy in designing him, and I'm pleased. Really, really nice. I mean, I'm definitely impressed. Nicer than I expected him to be, that's for sure. Not that New Eternia hasn't done a good job, especially the Mattel Creation stuff, but still. And I definitely like this face sculpt. It has a little bit of a roundish, there's not as much fur flaring out from the jaws over here and that kind of thing like we saw in the Awesome Classics, which we'll do that during comparisons. But for real though, this face sculpt to me looks better than what we got with our Battle Cat, Revolution Battle Cat. Now I know that that Battle Cat's supposed to be able to be Battle Cat and Cringer, but I'm sorry, that face just didn't look much like a Cringer to me. But that's just my opinion. But this is so cool. This looks like a face worthy of a Panther, and especially a Panthor. Those eyes, man, I tell you. Alright, now let's go ahead and equip the helmet and see what he looks like. Alright, here we are, getting ready to look at our Panthor, complete with helmet, and it pops right on. I mean, it's form-fitted. It wraps right around his cheeks, and this part right here, there's a part underneath this that allows it to just pop right on around those ears. As you can see, that kind of holds it on in the horizontal direction. There, it comes down on his snout here. It's perfectly lined up with his eyes. That's looking really nice. Here you see it. Those glass looking eyes. Wow. So cool. So nice. Wow, that is just super amazing here. So cool. All the way around here. Alright, you can see some of the battle damage here, the texturing again, scarring. But we are going to now take a look at our Panthors Articulation. Alright, moving our Panthor a little closer in here. The first thing that we want to do is remove this helmet. And I really don't want to remove this, even though it's going to be a lot easier to show you his articulation if I go ahead and do it. So I'm going to reluctantly remove this. Man, that's a beautiful saddle. I'm just amazed at what a difference. I've been playing around with Battle Cat's saddle, and I'll tell you why in comparisons here in just a few moments. But wow, I'm not going to remove these. The only way you could remove these is if you can pop these feet off. So I guess you can, but I don't want to do that. I don't see any reason to remove these. I like them. I think it's cool to have those on there. So that's neat. But going on, oh wow, look, there's actually spots on his back. I didn't notice that. Can you see those in the camera? Yeah. Do you see the spots? They're very subtle, but there's spots on his back. Wow. Very interesting. Even on his head here. You see him? Like these subtle spots all the way down his back. Very interesting. Okay. But anyway, he's going to be able to look up that much. He's going to be able to look down that much. He's going to be able to turn his head from side to side like that. May go all the way around. Yeah, it will. It will go all around, which we're not going to do that. This part, of course, does part of the head tilt and this part. So when you join that and that, that's how you get that far down. And then it will go up about that much, and then the head will go up a little bit higher. As you can see, there's a little bit of play right there. Not a tremendous amount, but if you look straight on here, you'll see that he'll turn his head that way and that way. Matter of fact, if you tilt his head a little bit, it will give the illusion of a little bit more. So that, I think, is all of it there. Yep. Goes back and forth, turns. Yeah, I think that's everything with the head part and neck. Now, let's go ahead and look at this. This is one of the surprises. This is one. The eyes were the first one. I said there were some surprises with this character. The eyes were the first one. The second one is the mouth. And watch this very carefully. Do you see the fangs here? I'm going to dim the light just a little bit more. You see the fangs. You see the teeth. You can even see the tongue up in there. I want you to watch this very carefully. When you open the mouth, the fangs come down. Did you see that? They were up and then they came down. When you close the mouth back, they go back in there. When you open it, they come down further. You can open that mouth all the way. You can see the tongue looking cool. See look, it's even got the ridges on the roof of the mouth. Talk about detail. Now that, check that out. Even has the ridges like a real cat or person or whoever would have on the roof of their mouth. The ridges are there and the color's there. But yeah, look, it shifts. They articulate it so when you close the mouth all the way, you don't see but just some of the fang and the teeth on the bottom. But then when you open the mouth, it reveals more of the teeth. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Awesome. Closed and open. That is just cool. That is neat. And you can see they even distinguish the color of the lips from the jaw and to the gum line and to the tongue. All of its different shades slightly so you can, you know, differentiate it. That's really cool. All right, so I'm geeking out over the mouth here. Articulated mouth. Show you from the side that it goes open that much. Then when it's closed, caves in like that. That's so cool. I love that. Such an awesome looking panther face. Those ears are laid back like this cat's mad. You ever seen a real cat, even a domesticated house cat? When they're mad, they lay those ears back. That's cool. All right, so these arms, these legs, I should say, will spread open that far. They will go all the way around, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to break anything. Sounds something popped in. But yeah, it will go all the way around, but it starts feeling a little tension. Yeah, it's not going to go quite all the way around. But yeah, it'll go back about that far because it starts hitting the rib cage. So that's pretty good because you'd be able to get, like, you know, a running stride and look good on that. This first front knee part here will swivel, as you see. And it has a big hinge there, but it feels like mine may be a little bit frozen. It's just tight. There it goes. It bent. There you go. And as you see, even though that gauntlet is on his shin there, or ankle, you can still go up. Go ahead and pull this knee back. Boy, that's tight. Pull it back in place so you'll see how far that goes down. It goes down about that far. Goes up about that far, and has the ability to go side to side. Let me turn it this way so you can see the rocker. You're also going to get rockers. You see that? You're going to have rockers and the pads, as we said. So you get up and down, side to side, and forward facing pin rockers that will go like that. Alright, now let me go ahead and show you this side as well. See if it's frozen like the other one. It's really tight. Goes down, goes up, has rockers, so you see that. Now let's go on over to this first diaphragm part where he's going to be able to turn like that. And you're going to be able to shift him like the crunch forward and bend back. So it'll turn and it'll shift. And we don't want to do it too much and rub the paint, but it's there. And then your second diaphragm, or actually more like a hip or pelvis area, will also turn And we'll shift forward so you can get kind of a seated pose. And we'll also bend back up. So when you combine the two together, that's all the way up, the two halves. And then that's all the way down with the two halves. So you're definitely going to be able to get a seated pose and give like the curvature to the back, which is really nice. Very quickly here, just show the tail. It's going to go down all the way, go up about halfway, and of course swivels. No bendy tail, really hard, rigid plastic, which is a shame. Looks like they could have made it kind of hard, but yet had those little holes in it so that you could bend it, like the wire in it rather. The back end here, you're going to be able to spread those back legs out just like we could the front legs. That's going to go pretty much all the way back and up to about the rib cage again on this end. And then that first knee, it go up about that high, goes back about that high. You still get the rotation at that knee. Then you have a second knee. It's going to go about that far back and that far up. Then you've got your foot. It's going to go all the way up. It's going to go all the way down, tiptoes, plus has the rockers and a rotation, which you have rotation everywhere, so you're definitely going to be able to get the poses that you need back there. The only problem is sometimes as tight as these knees are, some of these lower joints are a little looser, so it kind of makes it hard to get him flat-footed or get him in the exact pose that you want. You just have to work at it. But man, look how much that if you need him to look to the side, you're definitely going to be able to do that with that joint. You see there how he's bent. He's bent. Then you can bend the other way like that. So you get a really good set of articulation. It's pretty much the same articulation as Battle Cat if you have Battle Cat, but I feel like it's just a more premium feel here. Maybe it's just because he looks so much better. This paint is just awesome. I love these gauntlets. I mean, a lot of this is reuse from Battle Cat, but they just made it look so much nicer. But that is the articulation, and of course you're still going to get that with all the armor on. It's not going to hinder it. It's just you have to work around it a little bit to get there. It's easier to see it without it on, so I took it off there, but there it is. But now let's do some comparisons. Comparisons with other Panthors. And here are our two Panthors side to side, all complete with armor. And I have to admit, when I first saw images and heard of this one coming out, I guess because of my bias a little bit against the face and the body of the Battle Cat, that I felt like that this was just going to be a repaint, and that you know, being the helmet was so different, I knew I wasn't going to like it as good as the classics. But now I have to confess, I believe I like it more than the classics. Now just look at this helmet, look at the paint job. I know the classics is a little dated, but look at this saddle, and then look at the classics. Now I am a little partial to that classics helmet. I think that classics helmet with the ram's horn look is cooler than the Mattel Creation one here, the new Eternia Panthor helmet. But man, the saddle, even though this saddle is awesome and this Panthor is awesome, I love the way the hair is done on this one. I do prefer that. But you have pin holes here. You have pretty much the exact same articulation as you do with your new Eternia. And of course, again, this saddle is impressive right here. But I have to admit that this saddle on our New Eternia is even better, even nicer. And with the added addition of this little weapon holder here with the spear, and you could easily put his ram staff here, his ram staff instead, his havoc staff, I'm sorry, his havoc staff here instead of this spear, of course. And you could even, let's see, yeah, you could even put it on the other side, because you have this same loop and loop on the other side. But yeah, and this is really cool. But you know, it doesn't say havoc staff, I don't think, like these horns do. But you know, so the theme, I like the color actually better over here than over there. Don't ask me why, but I do. I wasn't crazy over Battle Cat's color compared to the classics, but man, next to these two side by side, I think I do prefer the color of this new Eternia one. Now let's go ahead and pop these helmets off, and I'll have to tell you that I do prefer, for sure. Now I will admit that the classics head, just its overall shape, is still kind of my favorite here, but I'll definitely give the win to New Eternia Panthor for the eyes. These eyes are awesome. And I think the snout is impressive, and I love the way they did the teeth. But there's even more realism to these teeth and the tongue. That tongue, I'm telling you, even the tongue has texture and has creases. And it looks so realistic over here on Classics. And even the way his snout is wrinkled up like a panther would do when it's snarling, that looks very realistic. Whereas here, even though you do have a snarling look, you don't have those really deep wrinkles in the nose over here. So I have to give that to the classics. The head sculpt is very impressive over here. I have to give that win, I think, to classics. We don't have the ankle. That's, you know, a New Eternia, a little flare that they added. Don't have the weapon ability over here. You have a little bit of a weapon holder here that's kind of scrawny and loose over here, but nothing like what we have over here. But I mean, overall, both of these Panthors are wonderful. But I have to give the win definitely to our new Eternia Panthor overall, I think. Even though I like the head better over here, I think I like everything else over here better, except for maybe the helmet. I mean, this helmet, I'm not even sure if it would fit over here. I don't think so. But I'm not sure if it could be made to go over there if we heat it up. I'm not sure. Does it look like it? But just sitting it up there even makes it look cool, doesn't it? But definitely, it pops on here. You have to pop it on, but it definitely adds a lot to it. The helmet does, I think. And then I have one more. Just for fun here, I've got to show you my flocked Panther. I bought this Panthor. I bought this on eBay years ago. It was about my very first, actually, Panthor that I had ever gotten. And unfortunately, because of the way flocking works, there are places where it has nicked, but still looks really good overall. It still has 98% of the flocking intact. And I just really like the color. And just to compare here, I didn't leave it up there but just to show you the difference. You see this color compared to this color, it's quite a bit of difference. You can see the color difference. Go ahead and put the face up here. There's a big color difference there where they flocked it. But yeah, I don't know how they did it. I don't even remember who I bought it from. Obviously, it was second-handed, but the fact that it was flocked and I didn't even have one. Only bad part about it is he did not come with the armor. So, obviously, you know, using the armor over on the other one. But this one just looks so cool with that color. But that color almost, you know, is closer to this color, especially when the light hits it and it has that, like, more of a metallic looking shine. It has almost this color. and a darker purple mixed with it. So yeah, that is really cool. That is neat. But there you go. I mean, Panthor is just a cool cat. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So now what we need to do is check out our Panthor with Skeletor riding him. Yes, we got to do that. Zooming out here from Snake Mountain. Such an epic scene here with all of its glory. We're looking at two of my favorite Skeletors now, which is the Battle Armor Skeletor. We have our classics Battle Armor Skeletor with an Alkyla head with his sword here, looking epic on the classic Panthor and looking amazing. Sits on it really well here overall. You just don't have the ability like to hold on or pose him much. Just basically straddles, and you know, it's just basically like a V setup. But over here with our new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor and our new Panthor, you can see that he's able to not only sit into the saddle deeper, but he's even able to hold on, because they made this narrow enough, whereas this is real thick. They made it narrow enough where his hand can fit on there. And that's good, because I think that must have been a design choice, because that's something that I've always thought we should have been able to do. He-Man as well, to be able to hold on to the saddle a little bit. So that's smart, I think. And he can bend his knees. You can put his feet in those stirrups. Oops, didn't realize that was... That's the thing about these feet sometimes with the four-legged kind here. It's sometimes hard to get them all flat. But man, is he not looking amazing here? Looking really good. And you'll see it a little bit better in photos during our photo gallery. But you can see it here as well in the comparison. They both look good riding their pet, their steed. But yeah, I have to give a little bit of a win to the new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor. You can open and close his mouth. You've got so much gear and armor, those spikes on his shoulders. He's got the sword sheathed in his back. He's got that awesome axe. He's got his helmet on, which have the, you know, that's kind of, yeah, kind of inspired by right here. You have this, and over here his is coming out on the side. So that's, it kind of makes sense there, doesn't it? So looking really good, looking really epic, really nice, right outside of our Snake Mountain. And here we are looking at the new Eternia Skeletor. Now I have to confess, and I've shown this one before, but the head sculpt, it has the cowl from the new Eternia Skeletor that came with the throne, but I peeled off the chainmail off one of my Battle Armor Skeletors, and I replaced the head, because I just did not like the head, the monkey looking head on the quote unquote Alkyla head that came with the bone throne. I just could not get that head to shape, especially the teeth, in the way I like it. So this one had the articulated jaw as well, and the beady red eyes in there. I even like the color of this bone, the bones here. So I peeled off using hot water the chainmail hood, you know, the one that could hold the helmet, and put this cowl on the same, on this head instead, on the same body here, using a different head but the same cowl, same head covering here. So that's kind of a kit bash that I did here of this one. But boy, does he not look good on this Panthor. Both of these have, like I said, this is the one that has kind of the metallic on the boots, and even a little bit of a metallic purple wash on his body, just a little bit. And even the silver looking trim on the front of that shin guard matches in a similar way to the Screech looking thing that is painted on the side of the saddle. So I really feel like this Skeletor goes well with this Panthor. I feel like he's just made for him. Even this cowl matches the color of the Panthor, and then having the cape, that's just bonus with the frayed edges. I just love this look. I think this would be my favorite Skeletor to pose with this new Panthor, and then even his big wide feet will go in the stirrups there. So yeah, I really feel like that this is the team right here. Now there's plenty of other Skeletors. You know, we've got the vintage collection, which this is not the vintage collection. I do have one on the way that I'll be reviewing real soon as it gets here. This is from the 2-pack, San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack that came with the 40th anniversary He-Man, and of course the 2-pack from the San Diego Comic-Con had the articulated jaw. I don't think the new Skeletor that comes from Walmart, the vintage collection, has that. I can't get it to close, but I may be wrong. But he does come with this awesome Rams Havoc staff. This one's metal, and the plastic handle, the plastic staff, but metal head. And I like the shading on this one, so you could definitely put that one up there. This, if you like more of a classic look, you could definitely put him up there too. Alright, so let's go ahead and put him up there. There we go. So you can see he looks good too. This is a more of a classics look for a Skeletor. Definitely like my Battle Armor Skeletor and the new Eternia Skeletor better, I think. But as far as a Skeletor that has that classic feel, yeah, this one wins the day. And he looks good too. He looks like he's holding on to that part there, the saddle. And this Panthor doesn't care which Skelly you put up there. He's just loving it. He loves it when Skeletor actually rides him and gives him some attention. Like most pets, even horses like that, right? They like when they're trained and they know what they're supposed to do. They like pleasing their owner, their rider, most of the time. But yeah, this guy is looking awesome. This Skeletor is looking great on this Panthor. Looking awesome. I love riding my Panthor around Snake Mountain. And here is our Panthor and Skeletor next to Battle Cat and He-Man. And this is the surprise I was telling you about earlier that I was going to explain, as far as how reason I was playing around with the saddle of Battle Cats, because I just got in my new Hordak MX Battle Cat head. And y'all are the first ones to see it. Whoever's watching this video, look at how epic he is. That is so neat. I just love this snarling face. I'll be doing a review of this head along with my new He-Man heads that I got. That's right, I got 2 new He-Man heads. The Mundo He-Man heads. This is one of them with the gritting teeth that is fashioned and designed to look more like the Mundo, the 1/6 scale Mundo He-Man. And that is an awesome looking face sculpt. Hordak MX does such a stellar job with his head sculpts, and trust me, it looks even better in person than it does on camera. The coloring just doesn't do it justice here, but in person it looks so epic the way it's painted. And I will say that this He-Man just does not sit on this saddle, even though I believe this is the same base body as far as the body portion of these 2 cats. It's just not the same type saddle system, because it's really hard. It feels like this is very rubbery, and that you're just trying to force him around it, and it doesn't shape around him very good. Whereas this one, it somehow or another, the way they designed this saddle, do you see how even this part right here kind of hides the legs? So it gives the illusion that he's sitting down into it, which is nice. Whereas here, it just looks like it's very awkward. His legs are exposed, and kind of there's just no perfect way of making those legs look like that they're riding something. Whereas here, it just looks more natural because of the way they designed the saddle. So this was genius. I would love to see them do a new Eternia Battle Cat with a little better color of green and stripes. Give us something more like what Hordak MX gave us here. That, you know, has the see, this has the hair on the side and the flared out look, and even the wrinkled up snout like we saw with the classics. So definitely love this head sculpt. But yeah, just look at the difference here as far as how they seat. You have to give the win to the new Eternia Panthor for the look of being seated here. And I'll turn up the brightness a little bit so you can see it as I spin it around here. He just looks better, this Skeletor does, seated on this Panthor, I think, better than what you can achieve with putting your He-Man in Battle Cat's saddle. And I did put a little bit of a wash on that saddle, black wash on my saddle there. But for the you know, Battle Cat. But man, just look at that. I'm just very impressed. I'm very tickled to have this Panthor. Everything about him I love, and then now I like this even better, that I can have him with an actual Battle Cat face. So if Hordak MX is watching, thank you so much. I got him and I love him. All right. And very quickly here is the original Battle Cat. And I know they were supposed to, you know, claim it that this is supposed to be Cringer's face. I just never did like this face sculpt. The mouth is articulated. You can see a review I have on this whole Battle Cat. But let's look at them with the helmets. There we go. Now I am one of those who do love the Battle Cat helmet. I think the helmet is awesome. And, you know, look at these next to each other. Now we've got something to talk about, because the two of these together just look epic beside each other. I do put a wash on my helmets as well to give it a more weathered look instead of such a clean look. But man, is that not looking stellar, these two next to each other. He-Man riding Battle Cat, Skeletor riding Panthor, and Panthor, and they're just looking so awesome. So awesome. And thank you so much for joining us for another Super Dave review. It has been a blast coming over to Snake Mountain, into the very land of evil, to take a look at this awesome new beast to join the family of Skeletor. And he is just looking dynamite. I am very excited about this character. So happy to have him. We're going to be getting the Wave 16 Beastman coming in very soon, as well as the vintage Skeletor. So we've got more Motu on the way, and a few other surprises up our sleeve. When we see them come in, we'll let you know. So excited about the videos coming up, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't. Please like if this video, it helps the channel a lot, and comment if you have something to share, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy these photos in the photo gallery. Be blessed.